Hi, are you thinking about using Drupal for your career or maybe at your business? If so, I think that you should watch this video. I spent 10 years working with Drupal, starting with version 6, then 7, 8, and now 9. And I would like to share with you 10 points which will hopefully help you to make the decision if Drupal is right tool for your business or for your career. So let's start. Recently, I started to think a lot about why the fun that I used to have with building websites starting slowly to fade away. And to be honest, there is a lot of factors that are responsible for this. I really started to dig into this topic until I realized that it was caused because of the environment and also Drupal itself. Why it happened? This story is captured in the article that I wrote, and you can find it on my blog. At the end of this video, there will be a link to my article as well. So just more than in this video because I try to make it short. Usually I talk a lot, so this is very hard for me to make it very short video, but let's try it. Point number 1. It's huge, complicated, and they say it's not a CMS but a framework. Yes, Drupal comes with a very granular level of abstractions, so you'll find that at every level you can change different things in Drupal. So this means that it's not that simple to learn. There are thousands of free modules from the community that extend Drupal functionality, and you might find that some of the modules are not doing what you need. Other modules, they have bugs, they are not maintained anymore. So there is this price that we pay for the things that are coming free, that if something is free, is not free of bugs, unfortunately. Building a site in Drupal doesn't mean that this website will be delivered faster, because the overall feel that CMS that is open source gives the flexibility and the option to build sites very, very fast. That's not true. You might find that the more complex the website is more difficult to find the right modules and to set them up. And also you will find that there's a lot of things that needs to be overridden, customized, and then altered. So the website does exactly what your client or what your business needs. There are many out-of-the-box features that won't do exactly what you exactly need. So you might find that some of the modules are supposed to do specific things, but there might be some issues with those modules. On the other hand, if it will work out and it will do what you need, then some of the functionality you will need to build by yourself or with the developers, because not everything is fully out of the box as it looks like. Lots of time customizing Drupal and bending the functionality. Yes, there is a lot of times that you will find that some parts of the Drupal don't work as you need for your project. And then as you'll be going deeper and deeper in Drupal, you will find that there's more and more very abstract code. It's not very straightforward that, okay, this is the function, it's responsible for this bit. No, there is 10 functions responsible for 10 other functions. There are interfaces, dependency injections. It's not that simple to understand very in a very short time. So this is the point number 1. Point number 2 is if I want to change one simple thing, I don't want to write 10 lines of code. This is started to appear when I was building my first websites in Drupal, and then I wanted to change a simple text on the page. When I changed in the template, I told template is just the file where the structure of the page sits. And then I heard that you cannot do it, Jacob, because you will override this functionality in the wrong way and Drupal will break. So what does it mean? That if there is a new upgrade of Drupal, then everything will be overridden and my change will disappear. So it's not that simple. You cannot just go and change the text. You need to find the function who is responsible to generate this text based on some other array. Yes, so you will need to use specific pre-processing functions and hooks that alters the DOM. DOM is the structure of all the elements on the website. So you need to know which function is it, which hook is it. So there's a documentation, of course, for this with hundreds of different functions, and good luck. If Drupal is hacked, so what does it mean? That if we force some things to appear on the screen and it's not the way that Drupal would like it, then it might break Drupal, or when there is a new version of Drupal and we will install this, it will wipe out all our changes. So we need to do it in a specific Drupal format and way, which sometimes is very time consuming and it will cost business more than using some other technologies. Development work can take longer than estimated. The estimates in Drupal is another story. I tried to cover my experiences in the article where I was forced to give the estimates for the things that we didn't even know how it will work, since there was a very short deadline and the business was in rush, and there was a lot of surprises because the modules that we were using were supposed to do something, and in the end we found out that they are not working properly because they got some bugs. More stress, more extra work. It wasn't very fun. Timing sometimes is very hard to predict, as new bugs can show up in core or modules. Yes, because there are so many modules and also that we are using, and also in core. So Drupal comes with default modules that are maintained by the core Drupal team, and also with a lot of modules that are coming from the community. So we can download and we can use them for free. But the quality of those modules is a completely different story, and sometimes you may find that you need to spend days on fixing some things or to find a way, what is the best way, instead of just jumping straight to the project and doing what is the requirement. Having fun, making clients happy, making the business happy. With Drupal, sometimes it's impossible. You need to go through struggle and pain. This is why I'm recording this video. I want to show all the aspects that I was facing and which caused me a lot of stress and a lot of pain. Number 3. Drupal is the most advanced CMS, which comes with the cost of a huge learning curve. Yes, it took 19 years to build Drupal. To be honest, it was released first time in 2001. So it's 19 years old now. It will be 20 very soon, and it was used for the big organization. So that's why Drupal mostly is used for big websites. And even when the developers are fluent with programming languages like PHP 7.4, object-oriented programming, they won't pick this up. They won't pick Drupal overnight. For me, after 10 years of practicing programming, it took 3 years to understand how Drupal really works. And I work across like 15, 17 different companies. So it wasn't that straightforward. That time the documentation was a pain. It was hard to find something. You need to ask people, find online. And if you couldn't find the answer, you were spending sleepless nights finding solutions. Some of these issues are still in the latest version, unfortunately, because it's not bug-free, and there are some issues. You can also check the issue queue. There are a lot of issues that you may find. So sometimes you need to really know what you are building, because if you take the wrong approach with Drupal, it will take you a long time, it will cost you a lot, and sometimes in the end the businesses are leaving Drupal and going for something else, which brings joy and it's more stressful because you can deliver things faster. So Drupal is not always the best platform or framework. Number 4, hard to find talented Drupal developer, and if you do, they prefer to work on highly paid contracts. Yeah, that's true. I'm talking to a lot of recruiters and agencies, and I ask them question if it's easy to find if it's easy to find a Drupal developer. And very often I'm hearing it's very hard, it's a pain, it's challenging to find a very good Drupal developer, to find even a good Drupal developer. So just to show it why there is not enough Drupal developers, I was talking to biggest agency that are specializing in Drupal sites in Poland. They told me that they're doing this free seminars at the university in Poland, a technical university, when they talk to 1,000 people, and there's only interested 100 people, and then 10 people end up just playing with Drupal, and sometimes one person will become a Drupal developer, because after 2-3 weeks people are leaving because it's so difficult to learn Drupal. Also, like if you will find a Drupal developer, the minimum wage for them on a contract basis will be around 300 a day, 300 euro or 300 pounds, more or less the same. So this is in UK and Europe. In in USA might be a little bit different, and also for sure it's in Australia there are different rates. Also, the rate can go up to $500-600 dollars a day. The most expensive rate, it was around 800 a day. So this is how some developers will charge for Drupal work. So the business should be also aware how much it will cost them to find a guy who can deliver the project on time. Number 5, you will have to customize a lot of out-of-the-box features. Yes, the more complex is the project, the more customization you will need to do. That's true, because you will use a lot of modules and you will think that, oh, it will do the work for me. Nope, there will be a lot of things that you will need to change because it won't work exactly as you need. So you will end up building everything from scratch, or trying to change the things that are already in Drupal. But sometimes without the experience, it will take a long time. Drupal core features also contain some bugs and issues. So even that is coming from the core, you will find that there's a lot of unresolved bugs that are still waiting to be fixed by community. Because it's a community-driven project, so everything is open source, for majority of the fixes are coming from the regular people, regular developers who have time or who don't have time. So I remember that in Drupal it was, I think, 7. There was a very critical bug that we waited 5 years to be fixed. And it was, the queue was so long because the team behind was focused on completely different things. So if you are building a website and you struggle with specifically this bit, and you didn't know that there is that issue in the core, this would take you a long time to find out that it's not solvable and there is a patch that you need to apply in order to do anything. So there will be a lot of this, let's say, surprises that are not very nice while you are working with Drupal. So when one bug is fixed, you will find that there might be another bug to be fixed. Yeah, that's unfortunately true. Sometimes you may fix something and then after the deployment you are happy, yay, and then bam, okay, it doesn't work. Why? There's another module that doesn't work. So this is what I don't like in Drupal. There's so many bugs that are preventing from seamless work, and also there is a lot of surprises that you will find sooner or later. Point number 6, struggle with finding the recommended way to build a simple feature. Yes, there is 10 or 20 different ways of building one thing. So to be honest, it's very hard to say that this is the recommended way of building things. So also it's very hard to sometimes come up with the best solution when there is not very well defined requirements coming from the business. So the business is pushing for the feature to be delivered. The developers are waiting for very thorough explanation and detailed description. It's not coming, so we are coming with the solution for the business is accepting this, deploying this after it is being developed, and then suddenly you find out that it's not what it's supposed to be there because something is not working as you wanted. Yes, this is mostly because there are always some limitations. So you exactly need to know what you are building in Drupal to know what might be the obstacles later on, because some things might not be available or achievable when you would take a specific approach. Even sometimes we're building a very simple thing, so you might need to rework your code later on, which might be very time consuming. Sometimes you will have to change the approach as it will break something. Yes, in Drupal many times I was seeing the websites that were done very well, and then one small change done properly was breaking something, because deep in the system there are some things that were not supposed to be there. That's why, for example, Drupal 9 is coming with a better quality of the code, and I hope that those issues won't be coming back. But still, some of the things will be coming from the contrib modules. Contrib modules, this is the shortcut, so this is from contributed modules, so the modules coming from the community. Number 7. Many Drupal modules don't do what you need. Yes, there are thousands of Drupal modules that are coming from free. You'll find that Drupal has the biggest amount of Drupal modules. Unfortunately, a lot of these modules have a lot of bugs, smaller, bigger, and sometimes those bugs are preventing developers to build the features build these features out of the box with these modules, and they have to start the work from scratch, writing a lot of code. Some of the modules are old, are not maintained anymore, and some are with a surprise, with a bug inside that you might find. Number 8, endless nights to find answers on issues in Drupal. Yes, the new Drupal documentation was upgraded some time ago, because in the past it was painful to find anything there. Still now it won't cover everything. Also, some topics are treated very vaguely and only the surface level. So without spending a lot of time, a lot of investigation, a lot of finding tutorials, asking people, mostly some other tutorials, some other websites where you can learn Drupal, the documentation won't help you. It will only give you some pinpoints, and that's it. And then you are on your own. So you will find that the documentation is missing a lot from the perfect documentation. Some core issues are taking too much time to be fixed. Hopefully now with the faster cycle it will happen faster, but still there is a big amount of bugs. And yes, now forget documentation. Sometimes it's not even worth to look there, because if you are looking for something very advanced, then you won't find the answers in documentation, which covers only the main aspects of Drupal, and also very, very briefly. Number 9. It's the only we've got 1 point left. So to keep a deadline on the Drupal project is hard, not impossible, but hard. Yes, in most cases, Drupal will surprise you with unpredictable issues. Yes, as soon as everything is going fine, then sooner or later something will break down, and then you will need to spend a lot of time finding what's wrong. Sometimes it goes very, very fast, sometimes you will spend a few days. And to be honest, also it depends on your experience in Drupal. But I found that some cases are very stressful, because it's very hard to find what's not working, and then you might need to disable a lot of things and then write the custom code or override some features. So it's not that this feature always will work perfectly and it won't have any problems even when now it's working fine. Sooner or later there might be other module will be overwriting something that's working fine and it will stop working, and then you will need to find why it's not working. That's one thing. And also like core issues, bugs in modules from the community. And poor documentation can lead to a lot of problems and also a lot of delays in delivering the project on time. Okay, now is the last point, number 10. So even after a successful deployment, your corporate site can go down after a system upgrade. Yes, unfortunately, I've seen it a few times where a huge website for a large organization went down in a few minutes because a core issue or some bug in the module that no one saw. And once we upgraded the system, everything went down, and then everyone rushed to roll back to the previous version, and then we spent the whole day finding what's not working. It wasn't our fault. We didn't do anything wrong. We didn't write any bad code. No, the bug was already in Drupal. So this is what you need to be very, very careful. You see, even like my camera, you never know, and the surprise can come your way, like the camera go down. And also some unknown issues in the core or module. So we don't know if the module is 100% issue free, because you will need to spend a lot of time investigating every module that you want to use. And it's not possible. You just enable the module, check very quickly, and then proceed with the work. So you don't test every aspect. This is something that you need to be very, very, very careful, and every business that is using Drupal needs to know that we will be using, I'm calling we as a Drupal developers, will be using a lot of modules. Those modules are not tested properly in some cases, and sooner or later they might be a disaster because something might not work properly. So if you would like to know more details about those things, all those points are written a little bit more in a more detailed way on my article. This video is a start of a series of videos where I want to show the industry from the backstage, show it from behind the screen, and tell everyone how the things are working exactly as they are without hiding any things. I want to be very transparent with everyone and to base everything what I'm saying on my experience. So it's not that this is something that I read somewhere or this is something that I think it might work like this. No, I've been there, I've tested this, I've seen it, I cried, I laughed. But with Drupal I went through a lot of pain, and I don't want to hide it. There are different ways of building applications, I think, in a more fun, relaxed, creative way. But I'm not saying Drupal is the worst evil and the worst system. I think it brings a lot of interesting things, and if you are smart, then you will make a very good decision. So thank you very much. If you have any comments, please let me know, and I'll be very, very happy to answer all your questions. Please keep in mind that what I say is only based on my personal opinion and experience. I'm not promoting anything. I'm not saying this is good, this is bad. This is only what I believe, and is based on my personal, emotional, and intelligence. Not only emotional intelligence, but on my mostly hard work in digital experience. Thank you very much.